You guys, hey, congratulations
Thank
once
you.
again. You guys
Thank
are
you.
so busy. I swear.
Indeed, you are correct.
That's actually why this new venture came along is because we were so busy.
Yeah.
And yeah, but please.
Well, let's get down to the point. So this new venture, you are now going to go into online teaching with this what's it called? A voiceover voice actor,
Mhm.
the course.
Mhm.
Tell us how did this came about? Where did this, idea, spawn from?
Absolutely. Well, we had our book, Voiceover Voice Actor, What It's Like Behind the Mic, that we wrote like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was a way for us to answer all the questions that we get. We get a lot of questions. And being somebody who likes to learn information myself, and I go to books to get information, as soon as people started asking me questions, I was like, there's probably a book on this. So I went out and I found what I thought I could discover, and there really wasn't a lot back then that I thought was helpful and useful and current and actually a way to get people the information that they were really asking, which is how do I do this? Not just like what is it you do? They wanted to understand how they could then do it themselves. And I was finding books on like the cone of sound around a microphone. I'm like, yeah, that's important, but that's not really what this is about. And so we wrote a book and it came out and that was great. And then a decade or so after that, we
You realize things had changed.
yeah, we need to
Yeah.
update this. So then we did the extended edition. And then throughout that whole time, people often ask us, like, well, do you ever teach a class? Will you teach us? Can we, like, they want to get the information from us, which,
In a different way.
yeah, which
In a sort of more like a classroom setting,
is
like an instructional
completely
setting.
flattering and we appreciated. But once again, you said earlier, like, you're so busy. We're so busy. Like, there's just so much stuff happening in our lives that we couldn't figure out how to juggle getting a class in there because I think of classes as like every Tuesday at 6 o'clock you go to this
Mhm.
class or you do it on Saturdays or whatever that looks like. And the two of us, our schedules are so in flux constantly, and obviously we have a child now
Yeah,
which
that's probably the
makes it even
hardest
more in
part.
flux. And so it was just like we always kind of just was said, oh no, we're not going to do it. Just read the book, just read the book, just read the book. And I don't even remember how it happened that we came across an online class.
Well, yeah. I mean, we were trying to brainstorm ways of how could we do this, but it still work with our schedule, and we were
Yeah.
coming up empty, and then we realized that there are courses online, and we started looking at platforms. We came across Kajabi, which is a platform that does a lot of this,
Yeah.
and we felt this really fits what we want to do,
Yeah.
and so we went ahead and built the class, recorded all of these lessons, in a studio setting
There's over 9 hours of like
of instruction.
instructional video of
Yeah.
us like teaching the
Yeah.
class.
In addition to plenty of other things that that you'll get the audiobook of our book, in case you want to listen to that as well. And it's got all sorts of resources and a workbook and warm-ups and things that we could all put as part of this online course. And we made it so that you can take it at your own pace.
Yeah.
You start the course, you do a lesson. If all of a sudden you're busy in life and you can't get to the next lesson
Take a
for a
couple
couple of
weeks.
weeks, you take a couple of weeks, get back to it. If you felt like you needed to brush up on something, you could go back to an earlier lesson and it's still there for you. And
Yeah.
that really felt like it fit, what we would be able to provide, and hopefully would be extra convenient for people in their busy daily
Yeah.
lives as well.
Yeah. So it's self-led, self-guided, but we are the ones teaching. So like we're the instructors. It's
Mhm.
just on your own schedule, on your own time, in your pajamas in the living room when you feel like it, sort of.
Yeah.
Now, how different is this course going to be from other courses that are actually, available out there? How did you want to differentiate yourself?
Sure. There's a lot of classes that friends of ours teach,
Mhm.
and they are all amazing in their own ways for their own reasons. Sometimes it's because you're tuning in every week and you are, like having the teacher critique a certain thing, and like they're very specified. ours is a really great starter. Like it's a really great, if this is something you're interested, you want to consider pursuing this as a career, it's something you've always dreamed about, you're having a midlife crisis and you want to try something different, like it's a really good place to start, which is kind of where we were coming from with our books.
Yeah.
We really want to give people that are sort of like, is that something I could do? Is that
So many people would come to us and say, this is really interesting to me. I think I want to do this, but I have no idea where to get started. And so much like our book, the course is, here are some things you can do to get started. Here's a great sort of basis, uh, starting point, and a look behind, to answer some of those questions, because looking at it from the outside, you don't know how things work. And this is, an explanation of how things work,
yeah,
what you can do to get started.
get started. And if you're in your beginning stages of your career, like
Yeah.
if you have started but you're kind of like, okay, what do I do next, what's the next
And there's a lot of acting instruction too, because we do believe that, a lot of people come to us and they say, "Hey, people say I've got a funny voice or I do impressions really well, and I'm thinking maybe I should do this." We want to make sure that you have the basics of acting as well, and audition technique,
Yeah, and
so
looking at
that
scripts
yeah,
so that you
yeah,
understand what you're doing. And so it's almost like if you were in college, it's a 101 class. Like it's get your primer in so that then you can start to figure out how you want to specialize. And I think that that's sort of what sort of sets what we're doing in its own category. It's like this is what you need to do to like get yourself started and figure things out from there.
yeah.
It sounds like college, but isn't this a industry like very hard to break into, or is it something that you know you have to take the course and learn?
Well, to be honest about it, like all entertainment, all art is very subjective and is very there's a lot of luck involved, but luck has to be put on top of preparation. And so yes, there is a whole lot of you've got to break into the thing, but if you have certain skills and you understand the way things work, you're much more likely to be ready when that door is open, as opposed to, oh no, I missed my opportunity because the door was open and I didn't know what I was doing when the door was open. So, this is to get you to that place where when those opportunities present themselves, you know how to take the action that's going to move you forward and propel you in the direction you want to go, so that then you do have the opportunity to make connections and network with other people and work on projects and like get those other steps in place because you already have a confidence and a secure knowledge understanding of what you need to be able to do the task at hand.
Yeah,
And so
I
I
could,
think
I could say, not that I have this power, but I could say, hey, Gig, I'm gonna get you an audition for the new Pixar movie or whatever, and you'd be like, oh, like this is what I've been waiting for. This is what I need. But if you show up at the audition and you don't have the confidence and you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what they're talking about, and even if you were to get the job and then show up, on set and not be able to give them, professional experience, then sort of giving you that luck, the luck bit, the luck part isn't really very helpful at all. So we're hoping that, because we, believe that, preparation and, determination, confidence, like all those things put together, then
creates your luck.
creates your opportunities.
Yeah.
So I think, for a lot of people, they just, I think hopefully what our course will do, and hopefully, the way we wrote our books as well, is we want you to fall in love with this life, with,
The
with
work of it.
acting, the
Yeah.
work of it, because you gotta fall in love with it, because a lot of, most of the time, and this even applies to us, in our careers, most of the time, people aren't going to pay us to do it. Like they're not going to pay you to
Mm.
do it. So you've got to love it. And because the love is what's going to carry you through those times when people aren't paying you to do it.
Yeah. And
So
then
it's
you
going to keep you going.
want to have that confidence, like Yuri was saying, that when you show up, you know that you know what you need to do. Like you know what's expected of you, and you have like a toolbox, almost like, like we as humans aren't given a toolbox of coping skills. We sort of collect them as we go randomly in life. We're like, like we want to help provide that toolbox so people aren't questioning and not understanding what is needed of them. This way, it's sort of like I keep sort of comparing it to that college course, right? Like that way you've done this and you know what you need to do, you know what some things you can call upon or draw upon to help you in circumstances as you move forward.
Yeah.
Well, then speak of that toolbox. What tools are in this course? What is the syllabus? What
Yeah,
modules do we have?
there's a lot. There's 17 of them. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
right.
modules.
Yeah, yeah.
There's over 9 hours of course instruction. We talk about like finding your own voice so that you really start to become confident and comfortable with what your sound is naturally based on your physiognomy, so that as much as you might like the sound of insert celebrity A here, like what do you have in your toolbox that you're coming with so that you know what jobs are going to be more likely to be what's accessible, and then what you want to work on to like, okay, I can stretch my range. If that's really something that's important to me to have a really high pitched thing, I need to work on that. That's not what I naturally come to the table with. And oh wow, these are some qualities that I possess based on my voice. So we want to have discovering and finding your natural voice. We, like Yuri said, because it's about acting, it's about what are the acting questions that you have to ask when you're looking at a script. So how do you take that script apart a
Breaking
little
down a
bit?
script,
How do you
prepping,
figure out what's going on in
prepping for auditions.
yeah.
And also I think something that's, valuable to a lot of people if they don't know this world at all is sort of a peek behind the curtain. What goes on a mocap stage, a performance capture stage? Because a lot of what we do now isn't just voice in front of a microphone. It's showing up on these, motion capture stages to perform for video games. Who are those people in the studio when you walk in, either for an audition or for a session?
There's 15 people
Who are
sitting
those people
what?
behind the glass? And I think the more that people can learn those things early on, the more confidence they'll have when they get to those situations, and the more professional,
They will
they
present
can be.
themselves.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's knowledge is power, right? Like that's the idea
Mhm.
that if you get the information, and the only way to get the information is either by doing it or have somebody tell you. So this is us telling you, like
Yeah.
getting that information so that you can present yourself in the highest, most polished, most professional way
Yeah.
possible.
How best to take direction, how in an audition if you're given direction, how to pivot and change
Yeah,
things
how to
and
work with
offer them
direction.
something different. How to promote yourself. It's not just about getting the job or doing the job. It's, all the things that lead up to that. How do you get those auditions? How do what is an agent? How is an agent different from a manager? All those things that you don't know until you're in that business.
So things like taking care of your voice, things that
Mhm.
you can do to just help your instrument, warm-ups, exercises,
Mhm.
smart physical health care, things like that.
Yeah. So it's sort of soup to nuts, for somebody.
101, right? Like
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
getting some of everything to give you a really strong foundation moving forward.
That is so true. I mean, when I walk onto a production set, I don't even know who the 3 dozen people are.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
It's
And it
just
can be
walking around.
overwhelming. Yeah, you
Yeah.
sort of look around, you're like, because your
Yeah.
brain says it's me and them, and they're the them, and you want to start to be like, no, we're us together. We're an us. It's not a them. It's a togetherness.
Yeah.
That's
We do stress so much how what we do in this business is a group, it's a team thing.
Yeah.
We because we're coming at from this angle, you think, oh, well, this must be the most important piece. But you're just, one part of a bigger machine.
Yeah.
And understanding what part of the machine that is also
How it
helps.
fits together.
Yeah.
so true, so true. Build that confidence and not just hang out at the craft table. That's
Although that's
I
important
mean, it is
too.
delicious.
Yeah.
It depends what they have on it.
Now, what kind of person should be thinking about taking this course? I mean, obviously you gear it towards beginners, but it also sounds like you also want to gear it towards people who are seasoned and so on. But what kind of people? I mean, do we have to have, like camera set up or, like our own mini studios? Because, just to do the the wall
Yeah,
soundproofing,
that's
it would be
actually
crazy.
that's one of the modules is
That's, yeah,
like
thank you
setting
for
up your own
reminding us.
home
That's
booth
also a part of the
studio.
class. Yeah.
No, you don't have to have really any equipment going into it. I mean, I guess you have to be able to watch the courses, so maybe a phone or a computer of some sort. But no, we sort of walk you through the various steps of how to build your booth and how to put those elements together. I think sort of the ideal niche of who would be taking this course would be people who want to pursue it, but don't really know where to start. So like I said, the complete beginner of like, I'm interested, like, but I need to know more. And people who are right at the very beginning of sort of their career, they may have booked a job or they may have taken a class already and they're just trying to figure out what their next steps are. I don't think this is really a course for like our exact peers, like the people that are working like we are regularly. Although I will say, because we had testers on the course, like we did like
Like beta
a
tests.
beta test sort of for the class, and there were various levels of skill sets involved in the beta test. And we had people who like knew nothing, we had people who were really interested, we had people who had taken a class, we had people who like were working regular, like we had a wide gamut of people, and we got great information from that, because the people who had been working a lot wanted a lot more very specific technique information. But that's something that like if you're starting out, it's too like I need to give you more of the basics. So we've realized that like this is a little more geared towards that, and maybe someday down the line we'll do a more specialized something further, like
Yeah, more like
for
an
down the
advanced,
line,
like an
an
advanced
advanced
course.
version. But for now, I think that it would be, somebody in college who's
Mhm.
considering pursuing this, somebody who decided not to go to college and they're trying to figure out what they want to do, maybe somebody having a midlife crisis that's changing careers, somebody that dabbled in acting in college and now wants to do it later, things like that, somebody who is willing to put the time and the effort in to get what they are hoping to get out of it.
Yeah.
Well said. And
Yeah.
you mentioned that you updated your book, and obviously
Yeah.
this course will
Yeah.
bring in all the changes for the past 10 plus years. What are some of the notable changes that you definitely wanted to include? Because voice acting has changed quite significantly in the past
Absolutely.
couple
Yeah.
decades.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it, a lot of it is technology
Mm-hmm.
based. Once upon a time, this isn't something you could do, on your own at home. You would have to go into a studio. But increasingly, and especially, post-pandemic, a lot of our work now happens from a home studio.
You can't see it, but our big booth is right here next
Yeah,
to
it's
us.
right next to the Um, but it's creating those opportunities remotely. Also, once upon a time, you had to move to a city where the work was happening. You had to move to New York, you had to move to Los Angeles or
Mhm.
Vancouver or Dallas or wherever. And now the opportunities have opened up because, especially again, post-pandemic, studios and clients are much more willing to take a chance on somebody who is
Yeah.
not necessarily in the city.
Yeah.
So it really opens up the the opportunities for
But
people.
also, like you were saying, technology, it's even just like when you used to book a video game, and I'm talking like 15 years ago, there was no performance capture, motion capture, soundstage quality to that. Like you would go in, you would record your lines, and then that would get dropped in. And then just based on the tech itself, they weren't going in and out of cinematics and in and out. Like there wasn't that element to it. And now,
Or if they were hiring completely different
right.
people to do the performance
Right.
capture.
And now it's being considered as a role. Like you book the role of Spider-Man, and you are doing that on the soundstage, you're doing that behind the microphone. Yes, you may have some stunt members who come in and do specified unique skills that like Yuri can't do a triple
Yeah,
backflip.
yeah,
Just,
yeah.
that's
So
fine.
they make me look like
They
Spider-Man.
look amazing. And so like, but you are playing the role in all of its facets, as opposed to being quite so sort of segregated out as to who does what and how that sort of
Mhm.
happens,
So we want actors to be prepared to,
to move their
when
bodies.
yeah,
And
when it comes to those type of roles,
yeah.
to understand that they're not just going to be listening to your voice. They're going to be looking at a lot of other things too. And how can we, best prepare you for that?
And we talk a little bit about AI because of course that's happening.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's as anything evolves and changes, there will be physical changes that happen in that career area, and then the technical changes that accompany it, because tech is always moving forward, I guess, until it
And
implodes. Who
driving
knows?
the rest of it. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we shouldn't be scared of technology or the future of AI in one
I don't
case.
I don't think
I
it's
don't think so.
yeah, I don't think it's helpful to be scared. I think it's, best just to, keep honing and changing, our skills, and seeing how best we can work with the technology because the technology is not gonna stop.
No, it's not going to go
Technology is
away.
not gonna, yeah. If we're scared of it or if we, fight it, it's not gonna stop. But how do we best keep doing what we love doing in that environment.
And this also goes to like that confidence level and that professional level. Like, how do you work with it? How do you figure out how to harness the strength and the power of that technology to work for you? So, yes, if AI is going to be on the table, how do you make sure that you're getting compensation and that you're getting paid and that you're able to work with the things that are out there so that you don't give away all of your stuff day one and then there's no work for you. Like,
Yeah,
so
how to protect
how to
yourself.
protect yourself.
Yeah.
This is very fascinating, and people are going to love this. So,
I
where do
hope so.
people where do people sign up? They can't sign up now, right?
Well, yes. So the
It's coming
course
up soon.
launches next 1 week from today on the 11th. And we're gonna do like a live Instagram launch party to celebrate that.
With a big
Oh my
discount
God, it's like
for
a
people
third
who
off
sign up right
it's a
away.
third off the course if you do it on the day that we launch, which is great. So that
But
saves you lots of money if you're interested in doing it. Do
but
it
in the
on the day of it.
meantime, yeah.
But in the meantime, you can go sign up for our newsletter and you can go to, I should have this
It's
memorized.
no, it's just a tinyurl.com/Vova course, right?
That might be actually for once the course is out. Hold on
Oh,
1 second.
okay. Well, then it's just courses dot
I
voiceovervoiceactor.com.
think it is. You're better than
Yeah.
I am at websites.
I'm sure all these links can be provided to you if they haven't already by Paul,
Yeah.
our PR guy.
Courses.voiceovervoiceactor.com is the
Yeah.
newsletter. And then when the class goes live, there will be a link for how that works. And obviously on our socials, we'll have it all turned on so that
Yeah. Signing up for the newsletter will also get you that the discount, the first day discount, I think.
yeah. So
Yeah.
you get it emailed to you. So you
Yeah,
don't have
yeah.
to worry if you're not live on the
On the
on
Instagram.
the
Yeah.
Instagram.
And people could sign up any time. Am I correct? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely,
Oh, yeah,
absolutely. Once the
100%.
course goes live, anyone can do it. You get the big discount on that first
Yeah.
day.
And we
So
have
like
and we
we're
have
trying to help people save money because
Yeah,
money's
and
tight.
looking at the types of these types of courses, we tried to price it, as reasonably as economically, minded as we
Yeah.
could, because it's a basic thing, and because, we want people to fall in love with what we do, and to find it for themselves if that's something they're interested in. We wanted to make that entry level barrier as low as we could.
But it's also a lifetime class. So like Yuri said, like you
Totally.
could do it this week and then a month goes by because you're busy. And so like you have access, you could go back and rewatch things that you might want to watch. You can re-access all the resources. Like it's all there for you. And so yeah, you could sign up at any time. You can do it at your leisure, whatever that looks like to you. But you can work your way through it too and complete the whole thing and get a certificate at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, a certificate.
A digital
It's
certificate.
very
Yeah.
fancy.
Before we forget, because we're going to get a discount and so on day one. But what is the price?
Yeah, it's $299 for the whole course. And that's like I said, it's 17 modules, it's over 9 hours of instruction, it's tons of resources, it's an original workbook with original scripts and practice copy, it's an audition log, it's tons of interview videos.
Yeah, warm-ups, audiobook.
The warm-ups.
Yeah.
You can have led warm-up tracks that we guide you on warming up. Like it's a bunch of information.
Yeah.
Is there any one-on-one, or did they just like email or contact you if there's additional questions?
Yeah, so we have contact. Actually, part of the newsletter is you can email the thing to us if there is anything, and we will probably call questions that we get from people, and then over time we will do like, here's an update little video. These questions
Yeah,
came up.
this
We want to,
question
so
keeps
we
coming
can
up.
update the class as we need to, but it's not a direct one-on-one
Yeah.
because of the nature of having it led on this Kajabi course. It's sort of a self-guided thing, which we have pre-recorded all of these courses, all the lessons.
That was actually one of the comments, from some of the people who took the course who are much, more
More
advanced.
advanced.
They were like, hey, yeah, we wanted more of a, one-on-one, or hey, can you listen to my auditions and give feedback and so on. And again, because our schedule doesn't, make that very possible for us, we're going to leave that out for here, but we will try to, send, if certain things keep coming up,
Yeah.
we will try to do update videos that answer those questions. Yeah.
Most excellent. Yeah, I'm just amazed on how you could pull this off with your voice acting, your comic series, and now t teaching classes and a kid.
It's a lot, man.
It took
It's a lot.
time. It took a lot longer than we thought it was
I
going
know.
to
We
take. We're like,
recorded the
this will be
videos
easy.
in January. We recorded all the course videos in January, and we're like, oh my God, it's already November. But it
Yeah.
takes a long time. They have to be edited. The team had to like create the website and program it in Kajabi. Like there was a lot of stuff happening. And then we had to have testers.
And yeah, we
So
went
they
through
had to
sure.
test it, and then we had to make revision. I mean, like things take time. That's life, right? Things
Yeah.
take time. So
Well said. Well, thank you to the both of you for
thank you so
speaking
much.
to us about
Of course,
about the course. I'm certain down the road we're gonna talk about your next project again. You're probably in
Hopefully.
the middle of it, and I might actually sign up just out of
Well,
curiosity.
do
I
it on the
mean,
first day because it's a much bigger discount.
That's
You get
right.
like $100 off. So like
there we go.
Yeah.
that saves you lots of money.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I
All right.
know
Well, it
you
was
have
great to chat with you.
tons of people to talk to because you have the busiest schedule in this industry. So thank you very much.
All
Next
right. Thank
time.
Thank you
you.
so much
All
for
right.
making
Sounds
the
good.
time, Gig.
All right.